How y'all doing? This is Jim Tremaine from DJ Times Magazine, sort of pandemic anchor man for the DJ community for the moment. We're here in New York City, and we are reaching out to South Florida. Darrin B-Side Young from DAS Audio. How you doing, Darrin?
Good, good, good. Good to see you. Good to hear you.
Great. And where are you living? Where am I reaching out to today?
Okay, I actually live in what's called Miramar, Florida, which is just a little west of the airport in Hollywood, Florida. For those who are a little familiar with South Florida, Miami's kind of down at the bottom. You get a little bit north, it's Fort Lauderdale area.
Yeah. Dade and
Right in
Broward.
between that. Yep, I am literally on the county line.
So you're near the stadium and all of that stuff, right?
I am actually near the stadium. Very good. You've been down here. You remember.
A time or two, yes. Winter Music Conference and for various other reasons. But yeah, South Florida is always a blast, and we really missed it this year. Unfortunately, Miami Music Week came a little too late, and everything had to be canceled, and we were really excited about coming down there. And so I want to find out how DAS Audio is doing. How has the situation impacted your day-to-day in the business these days?
Oh, it's been obviously a dramatic impact for everyone in the business, especially because we are really in the live entertainment industry, you know, whether it's installation or touring and production or retail portable DJ stuff. That's all dependent on people going out and enjoying the experience, you know, going out and listening to music, going to concerts, going to clubs, you know, going to restaurants and all of that. So obviously our business has been dramatically impacted, but, you know, that's minuscule compared to the people who've lost lives, you know.
Sure.
So, you know, to try to keep it in perspective, you know, we are operating on a very skeleton crew. All of our employees are pretty much working from home. We have one or two sales guys that are, see, there we go.
Here we go.
Let me introduce her. Come on, just say hi real quick. Come on, you don't want to say hi? So yeah, the challenge of working from home. So
Sure.
1 second, I've got to set her up with another game that she can play, and she'll be good for at least 15 minutes. Of course, like I say, the diva she is.
She's turning into Lady Gaga
Yes.
before our eyes.
Exactly. Perla, I'm doing an interview. You're going to have to do that one. And mommy comes to save the day.
There we are. There we are. Where were we? Yeah, so DAS is a global company.
Yeah, we're a global company. We're based in Miami, Florida. We're in Doral, technically. And that's not too far from the Miami International Airport. I live up in Miramar, which is in between the two airports, so I can hop on a plane as usually my business requires me to do. But as of late, no, not going anywhere. We're staying home. Most of our team's working from home.
Right.
We have a skeleton crew that operates almost every other day. One or two guys will go in and alternate and rotate the schedule of day. So just in case we do get some orders, we'll be able to get them out usually a day or two. And we got my GM is there pretty much on a daily basis. And then one person processing and one person shipping. So obviously social distancing isn't a problem. You've got a 30-something thousand square foot warehouse and office space, and everybody else is working from home.
Right, and being positioned in Miami during normal times, you guys are very adept at shipping to North and South America, correct?
Yes, actually there is an office based in Brazil that does a little bit of, or should I say the majority of the business for South America, but a lot of the stuff comes straight containers from Spain to the corresponding distributors. All of that honestly has come to a halt.
Right.
You know, as we know, South America has been impacted just like the rest of the world. So yes, a lot of our operations from Miami have completely slowed down.
Right, and the home company is in Valencia, Spain, is that right?
Yes, headquarters, factory is in Valencia, Spain.
Yeah, I visited many years ago, back when there was a different distributor, and I remember going to Valencia during the Los Fallas Festival, which was amazing.
You were out there for the party.
Oh my goodness, it was crazy. It was like was like Burning Man every night, you know. And at the end, they literally had that gigantic fire. And the Valencians really know how to party. It was a lot of fun, and
Yeah,
they
and the
were great
crazy thing, that's
hosts.
been going on for years before Burning Man. So
That's right, burners. Get your history down. But yeah, getting back to DOS Audio, I know that going back to the NAMM show in Anaheim this past January, 2020 was set to be a big year for you guys. I know that you
yeah,
had some new models coming out on a couple of series, the event series and the 11 series, I believe. Give us a heads up on what we can expect from those series moving forward when we are able to gather again.
yeah. The container arrived about 2 weeks before we had to shut down operations. The event 26 and the event 115A. 26 corresponds to dual 6-inch drivers. Technically, they're 6.5. And that's the line array top cabinet. It's complemented by a single 15-inch sub, hence 115A. A is always stands for active in our product line. So that was the addition to the event series. And we also had the big public announcement of the 11 Sound series, which was going to be huge for us this year, especially because it's the 25th anniversary of DOS Audio USA, DOS Audio of America. Has been set up for 25 years. So,
yeah, I know it was. You guys are also poised to come to DJ Expo, which hopefully we will still have. We're not fingers crossed.
crossed and
Yeah,
prayers are out there. I'm asking for all the energy and love we can get, and if we can get there, this is probably going to be one of the biggest
yeah.
that we're going to have.
We will see. I mean, we're still holding on to our dates, but we are in conversations about moving the dates back. And as soon as we know what we're doing, 100%, we will announce to the industry. But you also have a unique background. Where's the nickname B-side come from?
Ooh, when I started out DJing, I say officially I started in '86, but obviously I started years prior to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a bunch of other different DJ names that I try to use that incorporated my name and my initials and, my style and my skateboard. And, I tried everything and none of it stuck. None of it stuck. And my friends used to always tease me and saying, man, you just always on the B side. Why because literally when I started DJing, you had to play a little bit of everything.
Sure.
It wasn't called open format. That was the format.
Right.
You'd go from disco to hip hop to jazz, or I grew up in New Orleans too. That's the other thing I think.
Yeah, very different way to party over there.
Very different way to party. Yeah. So you go from the Rolling Stones to James Brown to Frankie Beverly and Mays, and then you drop some Juvenile, in the middle of nowhere, and everybody and their grandma would be partying. You literally had to play from 18 to 80.
Right.
So I grew up in that era, and I was always trying to find innovative ways to remix music live. This was before the whole sampling era and live instrumentation.
Real drums.
Yeah, well, I mean, we would do that. I'd actually connect 3 turntables. And I'd have some African drums or Afro-Latin drums, some djembes, some doumbeks, some congas, and I'd literally mix 3 turntables and play music live.
Right.
And I was always playing the remix or whatever the B side of the hit. So everyone played the hit. I would play what was on the other side.
Right.
And I'd try to spice it up by mixing it with things that were more familiar or more mainstream. So they would always tease me, and it just stuck. So
well, that's the thing about DJs is you want to create a point of difference where people remember you for something.
Right. So it was given. It wasn't chosen. It was given, and I had to accept it.
Yeah, and New Orleans obviously is one of the great music cities of the world, not just the United States. It goes back a long, long way, not just the jazz, but also all the way to the current hip hop scene and R&B, and they have their own type of dance music down there. So, how did you end up in Miami?
It started out with me being into music. I actually went to college for psychology, believe it or not.
Which actually helps in your line of work.
It does. It
Yeah.
helped me so much tremendously. I had no idea. In high school, I was into speech and debate and acting. I had no idea how big that would impact my career as an artist and as well as a speaker and musician and also just an audio guy. So I started out being a fan, and I never stopped being a fan. I never stopped being an end user. I never detached myself and forget that I'm a consumer, that I'm my own customer as well. So I started out in New Orleans. I moved to Texas once I had a son who now still lives in Texas. He's actually a nurse, ER nurse at Baylor. So I got to give a shout out to my son,
Right.
Christian, who on the part-time produces, does his own music as well. He kind of caught the bug, just like his dad, but he was instructed just like his dad, go to school, get the degree, get something that you could fall back on because that music thing may or may not work.
Right.
So that's how I started out. So I started there, I moved to Texas, and then from there, I actually started working at Mars Music, if you remember those.
I do remember.
I had a short stint at Guitar Center, believe it or not. I'll confess. I was there for about a week or two. And then someone told me about Mars. And I'm like, hey, let me go over there. So I got a job at Mars.
So you've been working with the DJ community for a long, long time.
Yeah.
How does your background really help you in doing what you're doing now? Because you're dealing with facilities, you're dealing with installers, you're dealing with mobile DJs who are doing big parties and small. How does your background help?
It helps because to me, it's all a matter of perspective, man. No matter what you do in life, whether you're a surgeon, whether you're an attorney, you know, whether you're an editor, whether you're a writer or a dancer, you know, no matter what you do in life, to me, having perspective of what you do, what others do, and how that influences and impacts your business really kind of completes you as a person. And in that perspective, to me, is one of the things that really helps me career-wise, not just as the director of business development for DOS Audio, but not just as a DJ, just as a person. I think it humbles you when you can see higher and lower experiences in life, and you can go to the depths and have the highs. All of those things, you know, if you don't appreciate what you have until you don't have it, or until you've suffered a little bit, you know, and you don't realize how good you have it until you don't have it anymore. And for those who don't have and never experienced anything greater, a lot of those people are the happiest people on earth, because guess what? They've never worried about anything great.
Sure.
So
well,
to me, it's a matter of perspective.
Yeah, music is a humbling business. It can be.
Especially now.
Right. Well, yeah, we know that. I mean, we're doing a lot of outreach to the DJs. We have a series that we're calling Life in Lockdown, and you know, the DJs are making a lot of music right now, and hopefully they're selling it, and maybe they're getting licensing and whatnot. But there's no gigs, so it is.
They have to get creative. You got to get.
Yeah, so they're getting creative with the streaming, and so we'll see where that ends up going. I know that our next issue is going to be all about streaming, everything about it, because that's really the only thing DJs are doing right now besides the studio. So to wrap it up, I want to just ask, you know, talk about philosophy, whatnot, a philosophical question. What have you taken from this whole situation, not just business, but personal?
Ooh, there's a lot. For someone who's kind of been there and done that and revamped their career, you know, in the industry and outside of the industry, you know, as an artist and as a manufacturer, there's a lot to take in. It's a very humbling experience. It really grounds you. It makes you realize what's important in life. You know, just the ability to go outside, to go to the park. You know, it's hard for me to explain to my 4-year-old daughter why we can't go to the park, why we can't go to Legoland, you know, why we can't do some of the things that she would like to do that she's accustomed to doing. And I think it's a part of that experience that really humbles you and makes you appreciate the things that you do have in life, and the ability to still be able to communicate with each other now. Because, you know, imagine if this had happened 20 years ago. You know, the internet was just
barely anything.
Yeah, you know, and forget about, you know, video calls and Skype and Zoom and all these other platforms, Twitter and Twitch and all these other quote unquote social media platforms.
Yeah, the ability to do business from home. Who knew we could
Right.
actually do it, right?
Right, exactly. So, you know, I look at it from that perspective, is that I'm really appreciative of the technology for good, bad, or indifferent, but it's the family aspect, the help. You've got a lot of close friends and family in the business, especially you're in the New York area. Every time I talk to some of my guys in that area, they have an immediate family member that they've lost. And that's something it impacts you, especially when you've known some of these guys for 10 and 15 and 20 some odd years. You know who they're talking about.
Sure.
You know, it's not just, oh yeah, so-and-so's uncle, and oh yeah, you know, I'm sorry for your loss. It's like, oh wait, I met that guy.
Yep.
You know, I remember him from this show, or he came down to this event, or, you know, we
Yeah,
met.
it's a tough time. I mean, I live right next to the 59th Street Bridge. I hear the ambulances going over. I hear them. I see them out the window. I take late night walks on the 59th Street Bridge when it's relatively empty. I see the ambulances going up First Avenue, going down Second Avenue.
Right.
It's real. But you know, New York has been through things before. We will be through them again. We will come through this, and so will the rest of the country. Yeah, well, we do our best. We kind of don't have a choice if we want to live here, right? So, but yeah, and I'm very much looking forward to visiting you guys down in South Florida again, and hopefully we can see you on the live side at DJ Expo.
Oh yeah, definitely. Fingers crossed. I think this is, if we can pull it off and it all comes together, you know, God willing, hopefully Allah willing, we'll be able to pull it off and do it, because I think this is going to be a really big year. Everyone's going to be really ready to party this year.
They're going to be raring to go back to work. I guarantee you that. So want to thank you very much, Darrin B-Side Young from DAS Audio in South Florida. Thank you so much. And we will see you again on the live side.
Peace.